We want to welcome you to our Leavenworth City Commission meeting. We ask that you turn off or silence all cell phones. Meetings are televised every day on Channel 2 at 6 p.m. and at midnight, and also available for viewing on YouTube. At this time, we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by silent meditation. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Amen. Amen. At this time, we'll have 4 proclamations.
Well, we got 4 of them. Then let's see after that how it clears out. No.
First proclamation, United Way.
Oh, I didn't even see all of them back there. They were hiding back there.
The city of Leavenworth, Kansas hopes that all citizens enjoy healthy, productive, and meaningful lives. The United Way of Leavenworth County advances the common good by creating opportunities for a better life for everyone. The United Way of Leavenworth County focuses on education, income, and health, which are building blocks for a good quality of life. Because we all win when a child succeeds in school, when families are financially stable, and when people are in good health. It takes every part of the community, individuals, businesses, and organizations to supply the passion, expertise, and resources needed to create lasting change for the better. And last year, the Leavenworth citizens and those in Leavenworth County generously contributed their volunteer energies as well as more than $220,000 to United Way of Leavenworth County, thereby investing in programs and initiatives that improve lives and build stronger communities. The United Way of Leavenworth County kicks off its annual campaign during the months of September through December to unite the community and enhance the lives of those living in Leavenworth, Kansas. I, Jermaine Wilson, Mayor of the City of Leavenworth, Kansas, hereby proclaim the months of September through December as United Way months.
Get in there, sir. Thank you. Say whiskey.
Well, thank you on behalf of United Way. I am so pleased to be here along with the ladies on the board. And I don't know if there are any gentlemen here, but if you are, we have our executive director here, Bill. We are so grateful to have such a giving community. And every dollar that you give to United Way stays in Leavenworth County. And a lot of people don't get that, and don't understand that. But what you give here stays here. And it helps those organizations, they help others. And that's all we are here for, and we are just so appreciative of this. And we ask that you keep giving. Thank you.
Thank you all so much. Rotary. Rotary.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, I might need some water.
Should I come down there?
Rotary International, founded on February 23rd, 1905 in Chicago, Illinois, in the United States of America. It is the world's first and one of the largest nonprofit service organizations. Okay, got me kind of scared. Rotary is a global network consisting of over 1.4 million members and more than 46,000 clubs in 221 countries in geographical areas who unite as neighbors, friends, leaders, and problem solvers to take action to create lasting changes in communities across the globe. The Rotary motto, service above self, inspired members to provide humanitarian services, follow high ethical standards, and promote goodwill and peace in the world. Rotary in 1985 launched Polio Plus, and in 1988 helped establish the Global Polio Eradication Initiative, which today includes the World Health Organization's U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, UNICEF, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, and Gavi, the Vaccine Alliance to immunize the children of the world against polio. Polio cases have dropped by 99.9% since 1988, and the world stands on the threshold of eradicating the diseases. The date Rotary has contributed more than $2.6 billion and countless volunteer hours to protect the nearly 3 billion children in 122 countries. Rotary is working to raise an additional $50 million per year, which would be leveraged for maximum impact by an additional $100 million annually from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Leavenworth Rotarians have committed their time, talent, and treasure to continue the support of Polio Plus until polio is finally eradicated from the earth. I, Jermaine Wilson, Mayor of the City of Leavenworth, Kansas, hereby proclaim October the 24th, 2023 as World Polio Day.
Thank you very, very much for taking time to do this proclamation.
You know what, you need to
We've already given
raise
you
your
a
chair up.
t-shirt, so now we're gonna give you a pin.
I'm a Rotarian, y'all.
Try it again.
You're lying. This is our in polio now pin, and Rotarians, help me out. We're this close. This close. We have 7 cases of polio currently, and we're this close to getting them in the world. That's
Wow.
right. We're this close to having polio as a
Can't believe that's all they have.
that big word right there. Anyway, thank you so much, Mayor Wilson. Thank you. Thank you.
It's just you. What's the next one? National Family Literacy. Yep. Hey, I don't like it. Family literacy? Okay. I almost kept going down there, because yeah, you talk a lot.
Our next proclamation, National Family Literacy Day. National Family Literacy Day, established by the 103rd Congress in 1994, and now marking its 29th anniversary on November 1st, 2023, highlights the importance of reading and learning for the entire family and emphasizes the impact that parents have on their children's learning. This day is celebrated across America each year and focuses on special activities and events that showcase the importance of family literacy programs that empower families and build a nation of readers. Literacy programs across the United States will observe National Family Literacy Day by holding readathons, book drives, workshops, and family activities at schools, libraries, and community centers to encourage literacy. As many as 1 in 6 adults struggle with reading and writing, and by learning to read, individuals can gain self-respect and confidence and strive toward goals that otherwise would not be achievable. The National Society of the Daughters of the American Revolution is a nonprofit, non-political volunteer women's service organization dedicated to promoting patriotism, presenting American history, and securing America's future through better education for children and adults. Education being one of the cornerstones of the National Society of the Daughters of the American Revolution, Captain Jesse Leavenworth Chapter is committed in increasing literacy by promoting and supporting literacy programs. I, Jermaine Wilson, Mayor of the City of Leavenworth, Kansas, hereby proclaim November the 1st as National Family Literacy Day.
Thank you, sir.
Just thank you very much for this. We do appreciate it.
All the man standing here.
National American Indian Heritage Month. The history and culture of our great nation have been significantly influenced by American Indians and indigenous people. The contribution of American Indians have enhanced the freedom, prosperity, and greatness of America today. Their customs and traditions are respected and celebrated as part of a rich legacy throughout the United States. Their Native Americans Awareness Week began in 1976, and recognition was expanded by Congress and approved by President George Bush in August 1990, designating the month of November as National American Indian Heritage Month. In honor of National American Indian Heritage Month, community celebrations as well as numerous cultural, artistic, educational, and historical activities have been planned. I, Jermaine Wilson, Mayor of the City of Leavenworth, Kansas, hereby proclaim National American Indian Heritage Month. I urge all citizens to observe this month with appropriate programs, ceremonies, and activities. November 2023 is National American Heritage Indian Month.
Again, Captain Jesse Leavenworth, DA, Daughters of the American Revolution, thank you very much for recognizing us, and we'll be back.
Amen. Thank you. Next item on the agenda, old business, consideration of previous meeting minutes from October the 10th, 2023 regular meeting. If there's no questions or comments at this time, I'll entertain a motion.
I move to approve minutes from October 10th, 2023, regular meeting.
Second?
Motion has been seconded. Begin voting with Commissioner Martin.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried, 5-0. Next item on the agenda, new business. This is open to anyone who wish to address the commission. Do we have anyone signed up? Okay. Next item on the agenda, general items. Consider request to name city-owned property skate park.
Mr. Mayor and Commission, I'm going to turn this over to Steve Grant from the Parks and Recreation Department and Dave Davis from the Parks Advisory Committee.
Thank you, Paul. Mayor, Commissioners, good evening. It's great to be here with you this evening, along with our Parks and Community Activities Advisory Board Chairman, as Paul mentioned, Mr. Dave Davis. The issue on before you this evening is to consider a recommendation by the Parks and Community Activities Advisory Board to name the facility currently known as the skate park in honor of and memory of Cody James Clark. So I'm really just kind of a facilitator in this, so I'll go through the process of how we got here tonight, and then I'll turn it over to Mr. Davis for further discussion regarding the park board and their discussion. So in your packet this evening, you have Resolution B 1562, which was adopted in 1998, which that outlines the procedure and a policy of naming or renaming any city-owned facilities or buildings or anything like that. This has gone through that process. The first step of that was a nomination email that Mr. Davis received from Jim and Lori Clark, who are Cody's parents, on August 11th. That email is also in your packet this evening, outlining some of the contributions that we'll speak about here a little further that Cody had in getting the ball rolling for the skate park that we have. Following that, we put it on the agenda of the September 11th Parks and Community Activities Advisory Board meeting, where the park board discussed the different contributions and everything that Cody had done to get the to get the ball rolling on funding towards the skate park back in 2008. After discussion at the board meeting, the park board did vote unanimously to recommend to you, the city commission, to name it after Cody Clark and to name it the Cody James Clark Skate Park. So with that, I'll turn it over to Dave and any discussions or questions you may have regarding their meeting and discussions about it. I will, Jim and Lori Clark are in the audience, as well as other family members and friends. So we welcome them here as well. So,
Mayor and Commissioners, I've been involved in the Parks Board now for several years, and in 2 different cases, we've named a sports facility after a noted citizen of Leavenworth. The first one was for Coach Jim Mathis, who's Mr. Tennis, I think, in the Midwest. He has organized the Memorial Day and Labor Day tennis tournaments for the city for at least 50 years. And the tennis court complex there at David Brewer Park was aptly named after him. A couple of years ago, we brought before you the recommendation to name the soccer complex after Frank Mazetas, who was a longtime member of our board and was considered the godfather of soccer here in the county. This one's a little different. In both of those cases, the individual was recognized after the fact. The facilities had been in operation for several years. What makes this special is Cody Clark was the genesis for the skate park here in Leavenworth. It was his idea and his letter initially to the city manager and to Julie Anderson, Steve's predecessor, that got the ball rolling. Once it was approved, he actually took part in the planning and layout of the skate park itself. I talked to some of his buddies out here in the hallway beforehand. Billy here, raise your hand, Billy.
Billy!
Billy sat on that design committee with Cody. And we unanimously think that it's the right thing to do in this particular case. Any questions?
Would the family like to speak?
I'm Jim Clark.
Come up to the podium, please.
Yeah.
I'm Jim Clark. I'm Cody's dad. I think some of you know that we lost Cody tragically back in January while he was working up on Fort. I wasn't prepared to speak today, but I'll give it my best shot. Cody was always an avid skater. He was always committed to the city. Even when he was younger, he said he always wanted to stay in Leavenworth. He didn't want to go away to college, and he didn't want to move away. He just enjoyed this city, his friends, the family that he created here. And we're really hoping that you'll take this under consideration. And we're hoping that we can get the skaters buy-in and all the kids that are a part of that are out there today. And, you know, we just really want to take the opportunity to present this to you and maybe get an opportunity to have a memorial for Cody so that it can be right there with all the skaters and all the kids for the rest of the city. Thank you.
Thank you as well. I'm definitely in favor and supportive of the name change. And like I said, thank you for speaking and opening up your heart and sharing your words. And to the skaters that are here supporting, like I said, thank you all for being present as well, too. And I think it's important. And like I said, I'm definitely in favor of it.
Mm-hmm. Me too. Me too.
Yeah. I move that we name the city-owned property currently known as the skate park, located on the grounds of the sports field complex in honor and memory of Cody James Clark.
Second.
A motion has been seconded. Begin voting with Commissioner Leanhart.
Aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
Motion carried, 5-0. Congratulations.
I think we've got some skaters back there too. Really,
See old Belly, see the crew.
Sure do.
I've met several of the skaters out there, and it's a really good group of guys and women, men and women.
Yes. Next item on the agenda, number 4, consider Delaware street closure request for special event.
Mr. Mayor, Commission, I'll start, Gary. Okay. But you can go ahead. Mr. Mayor, Commissioner, I'll handle this, and then we do have Carrie Pear here, the sponsor of the event. So the City Commission's adopted goals, one of the City Commission's adopted goals is to explore opportunities, partnership, and other methods to increase traffic in the downtown, including events and arts and cultural attractions. Over the last couple years, I think the city has done a really good job of this. Certainly not taking credit for these events, but recently we've seen the Juneteenth parade and event, Oktoberfest, not in the downtown, but certainly at a city facility, Leavenworth Arts in the Park. City continues to be supportive of the gravel grinder race, the Camp 5K, along with Camp Leavenworth, numerous motorcycle and car shows. I've been working with the Nez Perce event on a cultural event and parade potentially in the downtown. This is in addition to parades, concerts, farmers market, charm hunts, etc., which the city is supportive of. And we have also received interest in the last 12 months about a downtown music festival and a food festival of different types that we haven't seen before. So this is a good thing. There are more events, there's more happening in the downtown Leavenworth. The preference, probably 5 years ago and still today, is at Haymarket Square. That's why cities build event centers. But the good thing is we're not losing Haymarket use. In fact, we're gaining events. These aren't events that are transferring, these are new events that are enriching our downtown. We also need to keep in mind that we're a 28-block downtown. We are not Weston with one street. We are a 28-block downtown, and sometimes Haymarket is farther away from some businesses. And there's been some, from this group and from other groups of, let's move all around the downtown. Let's show off different streets. Let's show off different businesses. Let's get everybody involved. And so it's taken a little bit of a mindset change from staff and the elected officials to, okay, let's embrace this change. So with this event, and I do want to say that, so when we talk about streets, the first priority of streets is to move cars, to get residents and visitors to our businesses, the conveyance of automobiles, and to have a place to park in the central business district, right? So shoppers and residents on street. Safety, cars must be cleared out of the area. And also there's instances like if there's alcohol or insurance considerations. There's also notification things that cross my mind and the police chief's mind, the affected block, neighboring blocks, property owners, residents, other events in the area, the Performing Arts Center, sidewalk sales. I think the message is there's a lot going on in our downtown, and that's a good thing. So we were approached by Ms. Pear for a Christmas market on Delaware Street. And of course the initial response was, that's a long time on Delaware right before Christmas. But we've met subsequently Ms. Pear. We've heard the feedback from, I've talked to all of you about this event. We've heard the feedback from Ms. Pear with the widespread business support that we have. And with the spirit of continuing to enhance our downtown, our events for people, residents, and to partner with our businesses, city staff recommends that we do approve and move forward with this event as stated for a full closure, knowing that we need to come back as staff with better rules and regulations and processes for street closures. We just hadn't anticipated that, so that's something that we need to do that will come back in December, January. Who needs to notify? How far out do they need to notify? What do we need to put in place? So we thank Ms. Pear for the work that she's done on this event and the Christmas market, and certainly turn it over to her. But staff has resolved the issues that we have to try this out for a year until we get some more regulations in place. So that comes from commission feedback and of course the feedback from Ms. Pear and the business community. So that's what I have.
This is your time to promote the event.
He summed it up really well, but this isn't, I am the point of contact here, but this isn't coming from just me, this is coming from almost entirely, nobody is against it on our street, but most of the businesses on our section of our block of Delaware were speaking about how nice it would be to have an event downtown, especially in the winter, because there aren't usually as many big outdoor events in the winter for obvious reasons. It's cold, but I'm from Alaska, so I know how to deal with the cold. And that we were speaking together, and we were like, you know, it'd be really great to try something like this. So while I am the point of contact, currently I have 18 of the businesses behind me. I've had businesses, and honestly I have them actually physically behind me for a lot of them right now. And I've had a lot of businesses that aren't even on our block reach out and want to participate, which we would welcome and absolutely love to have. I've also had
currently, and we have not advertised this event as happening yet, just to clarify. I've currently had, I believe I'm between 8 and 12 artists reach out and say, hey, they'd love to participate and have a tent. So this is something that as soon as people even heard rumblings of it, they've started reaching out to me in support and excitement and wanting to do it. We also put up an online petition that we've, over about 2.5 days, we have over 350 signatures of people that would love to either to attend and support the event. So I think this is something that is would really help with the unity and help create an advantageous for all of us situation, especially over the holidays, because while yes, it's Christmas, but people are Christmas shopping and people want things to do and people want to go out and they don't want to have to go all the way to Kansas City, and we want to provide that for them. The statistics are something in the 67% of when people are in a walking district downtown, I can speak, I promise, walking distance district downtown, sales increased 67% for businesses on average, and there have been many studies done that, and some studies showed up to 172% increase. So I wasn't trying, I went with a low number for that. So it would be fantastic to try. Like I said, I'm just the point of contact. We're all working together, and honestly, seeing all of us businesses come together, I think is a great thing, and we love working with the city for that as well. Just a little bit of, I guess, I don't know, safety and security for your minds. I was an event coordinator for Parks and Recreation in Florida for a long time, and I managed to do things like land airplanes in public parks for events and that. And if you've ever worked with the government in Florida and the FAA, you know that maybe there's some challenges there, and I managed to do that. So I know events, and I have the backing of these wonderful businesses that I work with every single day, and it looks like the city as well, both you guys and the actual people that live in it as well. And I would love the opportunity to put this on and see if this could be a success here.
Yes, ma'am.
If you have any questions.
I just did want to point out that this afternoon I did receive a letter from Main Street, which is the city's partner in the downtown, and they are supportive of the event idea and the request for the street closure. So I wanted to make sure I got that.
That's good.
Thank you.
It's good to have their
I
support.
definitely want to say thank you for your passion. Thank you just for the spirit of unity that you're showing inside of our community, connecting with the downtown business owners, and then helping us just accomplish our goal, increasing the foot traffic in the downtown area. Like I said, the city do support our small businesses, and I'm glad to hear that the city is supporting you in this effort as well, too.
I have got to talk to you yesterday, so you answered most of my questions then, and I appreciate that very much. Anybody that knows me knows that I'm a big supporter of the arts, so and then, of course, supporting our businesses downtown is very important, so
Yeah.
thank you for doing this.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Any other comments from commissioners?
Yeah, I spent 3 years in Germany. I know a lot of folks have spent more. And you may have also.
I have, yes.
So you know what a Christkindlmarkt is.
Absolutely.
And, in my mind, that's what you're trying to put together
It
here.
is,
A
yeah.
Christkindlmarkt. So can you tell me, some of those down over there, they last for days on end and everything.
Well, if you were interested in closing the street for days on end, I'd be happy to talk to you about that.
I don't know that you could get the support for that. Yeah. No, when do you plan to have it open and when closed?
So ideally, the event would start at 10 a.m. and end around 8 p.m. There would be set up before and after that event, but it would be an all-day thing. I know that if you've been there, and I know a lot of people have been, like you said, having it open after the sun goes down, so you've got all the fun holiday lights with the booze, and that is part of the appeal. And so that's what the timing plan is at the moment. It's open at 10 a.m. and close at 8 p.m.
Okay, great. And that would just be from the, let's see, the west end of, the west side of 5th Street to the east side of 6th Street, right?
Yes.
Both of those would be open still.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Somewhere I read something about you're looking at as many as 40 vendors.
So our site map does, because we have barrosters as part of our event, and they have a non-public parking lot that they have access to. With that, as we've mapped it out, my husband is military, we do things very, very specifically.
Oh, yeah.
And we mapped it out, and we would have room to fit, depending on the quantity of food trucks and that, which would all be approved, obviously. We do have room to fit 56 10-by-10 tents, with walking space and space for emergency vehicles to be able to access any section of the event, because that's something that's really important to me.
Yeah.
So hypothetically, yes, we're hoping for 30 for the first time, but we've had such an outpouring of support that I wouldn't be surprised by the 56 number.
Well, I congratulate you on that.
Thank you.
What kind of vendors are you looking at? What are you going to have?
So specifically, I mean, as an artist, I kind of lean towards artists.
Sure.
But obviously, we're looking specifically for local small businesses or local artists. I am not against the idea of people coming in from outside, specifically Leavenworth, but Leavenworth County and the surrounding areas, because there's some great people that come into, I know, the farmers market and that would have wonderful wares. We are looking to maybe not promote so many of, like, say, the MLMs. We weren't looking for political things, but nonprofits would be fantastic and more than welcome. I know there's quite a few spouses groups on post, as well as other, Lions Club could come out, Rotary, I know there's a few of them around here, and that would be fantastic. So really, I mean, as long as the vendor is looking to enhance the event, then I would be happy to have them. The only limitation would be we don't want people that are just reselling
Sure.
other things.
Yeah.
I don't want to say not nice
No,
words, but
I know what you mean.
You mentioned food trucks. Are you also planning on any alcohol?
So alcohol would not be walking around down the street. I decided that getting it started and not trying to jump that hurdle to start with is probably a good choice. But I will be pulling a permit and a license to do it inside my facility, and I know a couple of the other brick and mortar businesses that are on that street have spoken about doing the same thing, so that people could have some blue vine inside our space, within a confined space with our permits, and then go back outside into the market. So.
Okay. I'm looking around because I'm looking to see if there are any children around. And all you people out there in Channel 2 land, the kids shouldn't hear this. Are you going to have Santa Claus?
I mean, I would love to put in a call to Santa Claus. If he's available, I know he's a busy man.
He's right there.
Shorty Claus is available, Shorty Claus right here.
If anybody's got a direct phone call for Santa Claus, I would love to have Santa Claus. He is more than welcome.
Yeah, no, I hope this looks just like the Chris Kindle mark at the Berliner Platz.
Yeah,
It was beautiful. I loved it. Even in the evening, like you said, when all the lights are up. So I wish you all the best luck with this.
Thank you very much.
No, I'm just really excited about it, so I'm in full support. You got it, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, and Christmas is my favorite time of year, so
Absolutely.
yeah,
Bring
it'd be
in
great to
some
see
Christmas cheer
something.
to Leavenworth.
Yeah.
Well, appreciate you
No,
at this
thank you.
time. I'll entertain a motion.
I move that we approve the street closure request for Saturday, December 9th from the 500 block of Delaware, on the 500 block of Delaware from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m.
A second?
A motion has been seconded. Begin voting with Commissioner Martin.
Aye.
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 A motion carried 5-0.
Thank you, Carrie.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you all for attending. You are more than welcome to stay for the rest of our meeting.
It's so exciting.
We're slowly clearing out.
Yes.
Antique Mama? Oh, was she here? Oh, no. She's, yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah.
She's good.
No. I talked to her earlier. Oh, bad. Yeah, thank you, though. Next item on the agenda, mayor's appointment. I move to reappoint to the Community Corrections Advisory Board Patrick Kitchens and Marcia Jackson to terms ending October 16, 2025, and appoint to the Leavenworth County Juvenile Corrections Advisory Board Kelly Meyer Stephen Walker and William Stevens to term ending September the 15th, 2026.
Second.
Yep.
Motion has been seconded. Begin voting.
Question.
Questions? Yes,
Is
sir.
that Reverend Marcia Jackson?
Yes, it is.
Yes, yes.
That's all, I thought so. Thank you.
Okay, yes, sir.
Aye.
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 All right, motion carried, 5-0. Thank you. Next item on the agenda, update on unsafe and dangerous fire damage structure, 707 Pawnee Street.
The Halbert, Chief Building Inspector.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. 707 Pawnee, as you know, fire damage structure back in March. It's been before you a couple times. The contractors have made great progress. The outside repairs are completed, other than they're still doing some painting. The interior work has progressed to the point where they're sheetrocking. So this is typically the point where staff brings it back to the commission and recommends that we release the funds and take it off consideration for any future action.
Sounds exciting, sounds good.
Staff,
That's good.
my department will still be working with them until the project's complete.
Sure.
That's good. Yeah, we appreciate that. Any questions or comments?
No.
No?
If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I move to approve and actually release the rest of the insurance proceeds to the owner.
A second.
A motion has been seconded. Begin voting with Commissioner Martin.
Aye.
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 Motion carried, 5-0. Thank you. Next item on the agenda, update on unsafe and dangerous structures, given 60-day extension at August 22nd meeting.
This will be Julie Hurley, the Director of Planning and Community Development.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mayor and Commissioners. As you will recall, on April 11th, the City Commission adopted a resolution finding 10 structures eligible for demolition, including the properties at 200 Osage and 229 Osage. At that time, the Commission granted a 60-day extension for property owners to make required repairs for both of these. The Commission reviewed the progress of the repairs on June 13th, and at that time granted a second 60-day extension for the required repairs to be made. You again reviewed progress at the August 22nd meeting, granted another 60-day extension. And so we are here to take a look at the progress that has been made since that time. So the first one is 200 Osage. This is an accessory structure only. It started off as a 2-story shed. And this was the original picture from August of, oops, let me go back. November of last year, before anything had been done. This was in June of this year. They had started some work. Between then and when they came back, the second story kind of collapsed. We're not sure if that was intentional or if it just happened. So the second story collapsed. Since that time, this was last week, they have worked on getting a roof back on that. They're working on the siding. This is as of today. The roof is still under construction. And again, still working on the siding. So the items that still need to be completed for this are to paint or replace the siding on the exterior of it and to replace the roof. Neither of those items are complete yet. They're both under progress. They've been consistently working on it, but neither are complete as of this time.
So evidently, they're not going to rebuild the second.
No, they intend to just leave it as a one-story structure.
Okay.
The next property is 229 Osage Street. This is a single-family home that sustained a fire at one point. This picture is from November of 2022. From the rear, you can see where some of the fire damage was. This is from June of this year. They had gotten most of the siding off, started replacing the windows, again from the rear. And then this is, as of today, still making progress on the siding. They've gotten the roof replaced, windows replaced, and then still working on the siding. They still have some work to do on this side that had more of the fire damage. So the items to still complete on this one are, again, replace the siding and replace trim and gutters. And they, again, like the other, have been making steady and consistent progress, and that is still underway. Both of these properties do have active building permits.
Yeah, like I said, they definitely made some incredible progress, and I don't want to move forward with the demolition. I think the only other thing would be to extend an extension, but I know we're coming up on the winter season as well too, so it's kind of like.
How long do they
You can
think
do
it'll
work in the
take?
winter.
Yeah.
Both of these are getting fairly close.
Yeah.
And so what I would probably suggest is another 60-day
Okay.
extension, since that's what you've been doing. So that would be coming back at the first regular meeting after 60 days. I think the second December meeting falls on the 26th, so I'm guessing
said
we won't
December
have
26th?
that.
We probably won't have that meeting.
Yeah.
So we'd probably be looking at seeing these again at the first regular
January.
meeting in January.
Yeah,
So
good
that
with
would give
that.
the property owners a fair amount of time to do work. And again, they've made, a bulk of the progress
Yeah,
has
correct.
been made, so they're kind of down to the last bits of it that just need to be finished up.
Okay, yeah.
I'd be good with that.
The building at 200 Osage Street, the very first shot you're showing us, or not the very first. There's, go back. One more. Yeah.
Yep.
It almost looks like a residential door. There are no plans to make that into a habitable structure.
I don't
Are there?
believe so, I think that door had been there to begin with, it was a shed, a storage
Yeah.
building, and so it's just a door,
Always
that
been a
access
storage
is.
building.
Okay,
So.
good, thank you.
Yep,
So 60-day extension?
60 days.
Yep.
okay, so again, we'd be
That's
looking at
great.
the first regular meeting in January.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right.
Do we need to
I'll
make
entertain a motion.
Oh, so moved.
No, I move that we permit a 60-day extension on 200 Osage Street and 229 Osage Street.
Second.
A motion has been seconded. Begin voting with Commissioner Leonhardt.
Aye.
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 Motion carried, 5-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda, consider approval of 2024 landfill services contract.
This would be Brian Foster, Director of Public Works.
Thank you, Mayor and Commissioners. Again, this item this evening is to consider approval of the refuse disposal contract with Waste Management for 2024. The City of Leavenworth has operated a municipal solid waste collection and disposal service since at least the 1950s. The city disposes, on average, 11,500 tons of municipal solid waste each year. In addition, the city disposes of approximately 3,700 tons of special waste, sludge or grit, from our wastewater treatment plant. The city has been using Waste Management in Shawnee since January of 2019. In extreme weather conditions and to address staffing shortages, the city will occasionally haul to the Leavenworth County Transfer Station. The rates at the transfer station are significantly higher than Waste Management, so we do limit our usage of the transfer station. When evaluating our options for 2024, staff contacted the Ham landfill in Douglas County as well as Waste Management in Shawnee. In addition to a one-year contract, both firms offered a multi-year agreement with annual increases based off the Consumer Price Index. While cost for disposing municipal solid waste at the Ham landfill was higher, the cost for sludge disposal was less. The city would save roughly $30,000 a year in dumping fees by using Ham. However, the longer drive distance, the two-lane road, and reduced hours compared to Waste Management creates operational issues for the city. In 2024, the cost to dispose of waste at Waste Management is increasing roughly 7%. Our municipal waste goes from $29.72 a ton to $31.80, and the cost for our special waste is increasing from $52.38 to $56.04 a ton. This increase costs the city an additional $24,000 for municipal solid waste and $14,000 for special waste. Staff is currently evaluating long-term options for hauling and disposal of our municipal solid waste and feel that the one-year option with Waste Management is appropriate while we investigate options moving forward. The staff recommends the City Commission approve a one-year contract with Waste Management for refuse disposal. And I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have.
Is there any way a multi-year contract would give us a discount?
Good
with
question.
them?
So they tied the multi-year to the CPI, so that limits your increases. However, we have been working on a different long-term plan to potentially bring to the city. And
Okay.
we're in the middle of those options and some costs on those options, so we'd bring those to
Okay.
the commission. So that's why
This
the
is
recommendation
temporary
is for the
for
1
now.
year. Yeah.
Okay, and do we have enough money in our budget for this to cover that? Okay.
Any other questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
I move to approve the 1-year contract with Waste Management for refuge disposal. The cost for 2024 is $31.80 a ton for municipal solid waste and $56.04 ton for special waste.
Second.
Motion has been seconded. Begin voting with Commissioner Martin.
Aye.
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 Motion carried, 5-0. Next item on the agenda, consider award of uniform rental bid.
This item is to consider approval of a uniform rental bid with Ace Imagewear in the amount of $29,464.24. The city of Leavenworth does provide work uniforms to our employees of wastewater, our operations division, as well as parks divisions. Uniforms ensure that employees are readily identifiable to the public as they have the city emblem and the employee names on them. Bid specs were developed through meetings with the members of the various divisions. The bid documents stated that the contract is for 2 years, beginning the date the award is awarded, and it can be renewed every 2 years. New uniforms will be provided again every 2 years. The information on the bid were sent to 7 companies. The bid opening was held on October 5th with 2 companies responding. One firm did not include the required submittals and therefore was deemed non-responsive. Upon review of the bid submitted, it was noted that Ace Imagewear stated that they would need an initial 3-year contract to help recoup uniform costs. Staff is fine with the 3-year initial term. Uniform rental is budgeted annually by each division in their respective uniform rental accounts. The city's current contract is with Ace Imagewear, and staff has been pleased with how it's been working. So we do recommend the city commission approve the award of the employee uniform services to Ace Imagewear in the amount of $29,464.24. Be happy to answer any questions.
I still don't understand how you could, I mean, these are uniforms. I would think you'd be able to get a lot of bids. Why is there only one bid on this? It's not anything special.
We sent it to 7 companies, and it was advertised, and we had 2 bids, but like I said, the one was deemed non-responsive.
And is this more than before?
Yeah, I believe the last one was about 24,000 several years back.
Oh, okay, okay.
I mean, they come
Expect it to
every
go up,
week.
yeah.
They come every week and pick up the uniforms and clean them. I mean, it's a pretty good service for our people.
Okay. Yeah, I would expect it to go up. That makes sense. If it's been 3 years or whatever, it's 5,000 more.
There's no other questions or comments, I'll entertain a motion.
I move that we approve the award of the employee uniform services to Ace Imagewear in the amount of $29,464.24.
Second.
Motion has been seconded. Begin voting with Commissioner Leonhardt.
Aye.
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 Motion carried, 5-0. Next item on the agenda, staff report, update on 4th Street, K7 between Choctaw and Seneca project.
Brian, are you going to start on this one? Yep, this will be Brian Faust, and again, this is a staff report on just an update on the 4th Street project through the downtown.
Can we move?
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. Please.
Well, that's a lot
Oh,
better.
thank you. Instead of looking all the way over there.
Again, this evening, staff, along with our consultant, will provide the update on the 4th Street project. The design of the 4th Street improvements between Choctaw and Seneca is complete. There have been several iterations of the final plans as our consultant, which BAC. The city and our partners at KDOT have reviewed the design. As the project includes the realignment of both a sanitary sewer and stormwater interceptor while keeping both in service, the main topic has been how best to construct the project. Project highlights include road will transition from the existing 4-lane section to a 3-lane section within the project limits. There will be 1 through lane for northbound traffic, 1 through lane for southbound traffic, and a center turn lane. Again, there'll be a removal and replacement of the existing storm and sanitary lines within the project limits. There'll be new traffic signals. Landscaping is not included in this project. However, in the 2026 CIP, the city has funded $500,000 for landscaping. Sections of 4th Street will be closed during construction. There's no way to construct this and have the road open. Posted detours will include 3rd Street. However, local traffic typically uses routes that are most advantageous to them. When the intersection of 4th and Delaware is closed, that's one of the more challenging ones because that is a one-way street. When that is closed, there will be 2-way traffic on Delaware between 4th and 5th and between 4th and 3rd. And that will impact parking as well as the businesses in those 2 blocks. Estimated cost for the project has been challenging to determine, as constructability and the amount of closures allowed at any one time will play into the final cost. The project is currently scheduled to bid this December with completion in late 2024. And this evening we have David Smallman with BHC to present the plan.
All right, thank you. We got a slideshow here for you guys to kind of highlight some of the features of the project. Again, this project goes from Choctaw to Seneca. You can see it includes storm, sanitary, traffic signals, and street lighting. I know I last talked to you guys back in February, and I noted that, early on in the process, we noted that, hey, if we're going to be taking pipes in and out of the storm sewer system, the existing storm sewer system is a little bit older, so now we're including storm and sanitary, and there's some additional notes here later on that will kind of highlight that. So you can see Brian had noted that for this project at the end, that we'll be transitioning from 4 lanes that you see south of Choctaw and 4 lanes north of Seneca down to 3 lanes in this area. So you can see on this slide kind of how that's going to happen. Basically, the center lane or either the northbound, the inside lane, either northbound or southbound, will become a left turn lane, and those folks will turn. And the outside lane in northbound and southbound will then become your through lane. And as you're exiting the 3-lane section, you can see you're going to exit into 2 lanes. So you can basically take your pick there as you exit the area. So part of the features here are going to be colored stamped concrete to kind of help, help delineate some of the lanes. One of the unique things here is the center turn lane is going to be colored stamped concrete. That just really serves as a visual barrier as folks are going north and south on the street. There still has to be pavement markings here just outside of the colored stamped concrete as per KDOT standard, but you can see that there's going to be a nice visual here. And then right behind the back of curb, there'll also be an 18-inch maintenance strip. That'll be the same color as the median for colored stamped concrete. In addition, you can see the crosswalks there will have colored stamped concrete as well to kind of help highlight where the pedestrians are going to be. Landscaping, again, is not part of the project, but as you can see here, there's some features there. You got some landscaping that's planned to be offset from the sidewalk, but also there's also going to be some planters are planned kind of in the middle of the sidewalk. The size of those has kind of not yet been determined. We don't intend those to completely block the walkway as some of those kind of show, but you can kind of see the idea of what they're looking for, some limestone blocks and things like that as some of those planters. And then also you can see there's an idea for a gateway feature there in the upper right. Since this is the first city in Kansas, that's just an idea that the landscape architect came up with as kind of a monument to be placed, I think on the north and south, and I'll check that. It may just be one side, but I think it's the north end and the south end of the project. But again, the landscaping details are not yet finalized. There's just some concepts that haven't been created yet. So, additional input from city staff and folks there's still some things at play. So one of the ideas they came up with for landscaping and stuff is kind of an outdoor space. So you can see this northeast quadrant of 4th and Cherokee. The landscape architect kind of identified this as a good area to place something like that. The trees in that area, when they walk the project, they noticed are stressed because you have some tree roots that are basically just surrounded by concrete. So it makes it more challenging. And they basically said that, in a handful of years, those trees will probably get choked out and die. So this area, even though it shows that as an event space, it can still serve as a parking lot for the bank. And then obviously with those features you have there, if you want to have a small event for whatever, it can attract folks to the downtown area for a pop-up party or whatever they may want to do. It just changes the feel of the area and also provides an amenity for the city. So I kind of noted the storm and sanitary right now. As you can see, there's basically a 72-inch or 60-inch brick. So it's basically brick and mortar, kind of like you'd see maybe in an old-time farmhouse or something where they just take stones and bricks and kind of push them together. That's what's underneath the roadway right now. And then underneath that, you have the sanitary sewer, which makes some challenges. So when they went down in there to take a look at it, there actually was like a manhole that was, the manhole's right there in the bottom of the storm sewer channel. So if something should happen to those manholes or whatever, the rainwater can go right into the sanitary. So what we're planning to do to be able to get access to both of those is you basically have to separate the two lines. So as you can see on there, you can see the existing, which is kind of an arch, looks like a mailbox or bread, a loaf of bread. We're replacing that with a 66 or 60-inch RCP reinforced concrete pipe to one side, and the other side you can see we're moving the sanitary. Those will each have either a junction box or a manhole accessing those separately. So at least for this section, they'll be separated. North of this location, it's the same thing where you have them kind of stacked. South of this location, the sanitary line kind of splits off and goes a different direction, and then the storm line continues on to the creek.
This is a big driver in the cost of the project, because both of these lines are deep. You have the restrictions of the buildings and the basements in the buildings. Mm-hmm. And so you're excavating down quite deep to separate these. But while you separate these, you can't stop the sewer. And if it rains, you can't stop the storm. And so there's a lot of challenges associated with constructing this, and like every night tying things back in for the next day. So here's an example of one solution for construction. This shows a three-phase construction. On here you can kind of see, if you look real closely there in the middle, that's going to be the construction you can see from Choctaw to Seneca. One thought is as phase one essentially would be from Choctaw to the south right-of-way line of Delaware, and then doing Delaware itself, and then doing from Delaware up to Seneca. There's discussions there of whether a three-phase is better or three-phase to be allowed. Obviously, this is a state highway with KDOT, so there's some discussions going on there of whether to make that three-phase or just one big chunk. I just call it one phase, close it all down, and you can see where the detour would be, regardless of what phase they're in. Essentially, cars would kind of split out to either 3rd Street or 5th Street at Spruce, and the same thing at Iowa. So, but there'll be message boards there on each end to kind of give people an idea of what's going on. If we can do this at three-phase, then folks could the road is going to be closed to through traffic, so folks can't just go straight down and connect. But if they want to go, from Spruce and continue north, say we're in this case, say phase 3, folks could go all the way up to Delaware. On Kiowa, say that phase 1 is going on, folks could go from Kiowa down to Delaware also, and then kind of split off and access anything they need to at that point. So the other thing to note here is that Delaware is one way currently and will be in the future. So one thing that may need to be set up there is just two-way traffic, so that folks can go into the businesses and come back out versus kind of going in and being stuck. So that way those folks can still have access. The nice thing about 4th Street is that I think the only direct access point to
one of the few access points is just at the post office. A lot of the businesses are fed off of, the side streets there. So it won't be as impactful as if you had, several driveways along there for folks.
And we like, the city initially looked at the three-phase, because if we do the three-phase, we can do the south half, get it done, and leave Delaware open, and then just define Delaware only, and put some pretty strong restrictions on the contractor that limit the time that he would be able to have that section closed, and put fairly significant penalties on him if he missed those timeframes. KDOT has looked at it as we may get better bid prices if we allow them the whole street to work. But then we, as a city, contractors are very good at demo, and we don't want them to basically demo the whole street and then slowly reconstruct from the south. And so we want some assurances that there'll be crews reconstructing as they go. So that's something that we're still working with KDOT on.
How long would that be closed if they did the one phase, all one? The whole
We
street?
estimated the construction time for the project of about 8 months.
Wow.
And so whether the whole street would be closed, they're gonna start at the south end. And so, as they're working their way north, the north wouldn't be closed.
Oh, they still could,
They could still, but they're progressing, but
Got
we would
it.
want another crew in as they get to a certain point to start rebuilding the road.
they could still leave parts of it
Right.
open as they're working on it.
So this is an 8-month, you're estimating all 3 parts?
Correct.
Total?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, the project needs to start at the south end because the sanitary and the storm are flowing from the north to the south, obviously down to the creek.
Okay.
So when you do that, the thing is driving this is you gotta start from the downside end to be able to receive that water and then work your way to the north.
Okay, okay.
So cost estimate, again, this is kind of work in progress, but we're talking about in the range of 5 to 5.8 million. And that includes the storm sanitary traffic signals and roadway improvements. There will be construction inspection, that'll be in addition to that. And then obviously landscaping is not included in the estimate, but the city has about $500,000 budgeted for the fiscal year 2026. So you guys are asking about schedule. The big number here is just 8 months for construction, but you can kind of see from here on out how that looks, along with receiving materials and things. So we are waiting to get comments from KDOT, we're waiting for the KDOT Metro office to look at the plans and provide comments and get comfortable with things. And then we can turn around their comments fairly quickly to keep things on schedule for a December bid opening. We would get those bid letting plans, what they call them, on November 8th. Advertise for bidding about a week after that. And then late November, we'd likely have a pre-bid meeting. That's where contractors can come in, ask questions about the project, maybe to clarify some uncertainties, and that'll help get better bid prices. So we can clarify those items for them. And then the bid opening is set by KDOT at December 13th. So once the bid opening happens and there's an apparent low bidder, then shop drawings could be created and reviewed, because that's really what's driving the schedule, is getting all the storm sewer and sanitary structures and pipes ordered. So the shop drawing basically is just a drawing that says, hey, this is what your storm sewer is gonna look like. Here's the exact depth, here's where the pipe's coming in, and that way they can send those off to be created. So the city to award the contract, that would be the June 23rd meeting. Basically, they would award the contract, January. Didn't mean to scare you there. Got my 1s and 7s mixed up, I guess. So January 23rd is when the city would award the contractors. Effectively, that's the contractor's notice to proceed. That's, the day after that is when they could place the order for the storm and sanitary structures and traffic signal poles and pedestrian poles at that time. Now, the city did some investigating to see how long the lead time is for those storm structures and storm sewer pipe, because we're talking big pipe here, 60 to 66 inch pipe. That's 5 to 5.5 feet diameter pipe. And on the good side, it's 10 weeks. So 10 weeks after ordering those when they plan to receive it. So that puts you at about early April, but that estimate could be anywhere from 10 to 15 weeks. So this is kind of best case scenario. So once they receive all their storm and sanitary, then sewer and structure, then they could basically begin construction there in early April. Now, for 8 months from that time, puts you at December 6th. Oh, that would be open to unrestricted traffic. One fallout of that may be the Veterans Day Parade, because we've been told that uses K7 and 4th Street. If things go really well, maybe it can happen, but I think that's something for the city to consider. I just put that up there just so that you be aware of how that major event kind of falls into the schedule.
Very detailed.
Good.
Yeah.
I think I'm excited.
We'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
I don't have any.
Very thorough.
Yeah,
Any
right
questions?
now, thank you.
So if it goes 15 weeks to receive it, what's it close it down?
In the back?
15 weeks, we would, we'd be looking at more like middle of February. Potentially, yeah. I mean, we're not the contractor. The contractor may have some special things that they can work out and make some things happen. But yeah, that's kind of the best case scenario. There's, 10 to 15 weeks. If it's 5 weeks after that, then yeah, you're looking, probably sometime in the end of January or mid-January when the construction would be done.
And the nice thing about this project, it's all concrete. And so it's not like asphalt where the asphalt plants will shut down when it gets cold weather.
Yeah.
We can do cold weather concreting as long as the subgrade is not frozen and we can protect it. So we have some flexibility, on the timing.
But I just want to it's tentative, but I kind of wanted to provide a full illustration of, okay, where are we at now? When's this thing going to be totally done?
Very helpful.
We appreciate it.
Yeah,
There's
thank
no
you
other
very much.
Questions or comments? Thank you, sir, for your time and your presentation.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
I've got one more. Snow and ice.
Next item on the agenda, snow and ice control operation plan. Winter time is coming.
Yep, the annual plan.
So I don't know if anybody watched the forecast last night, but they were talking about the possibility of some snow either Sunday night or Monday.
What?
So that's been going in and out of the forecast. So it's
I did
that
not
time of
see
year.
that.
I didn't either.
Unfortunately, I was looking here and that's not what I wanted to see. I'm sure. This is actually, if you're looking out of my window, not this year, but this is on the front page of the report. The city commission does review the snow and ice control operation plan annually. The plan was first written in October of 1993. And this current version has a date on the front of October of 2023. One thing you may be aware, has been an issue that we've been struggling with and most communities have been struggling with is the availability of staff with commercial driver's license. Our large trucks require CDLs, so there have been some apprehension about the upcoming winter season with a limited number of experienced drivers. Our operations department has been demoing some new equipment, so we are prepared.
He's kidding.
That's old school.
I know.
These do not require CDLs.
I want one of those.
That's a good one.
I want one of those.
Yeah.
Probably do my driveway.
A snow control meeting was held on October 10th with local agencies to discuss and coordinate areas of responsibility. We do that every year. We are also working with 2 independent contractors who will assist if needed. We did not need them last year, but the year before we called them out to help with our residential streets. Staff is prepping the equipment for winter usage and will continue training with equipment and driving routes to familiarize themselves with both. And so you'll start to see our trucks driving down the street and it might be 70 degrees outside and there'll be a plow on the front. Just trying to get them comfortable with the equipment. There are no major changes for 2023. The 2 changes that we made last year will continue. The city will be applying salt brine on our hills, bridges, and emergency snow routes prior to storm events. The salt brine does help prevent the snow from bonding to the street, which makes it much easier to remove. And in the past, the city did not drop plows until 2 inches of snow had accumulated on the street. As traffic packs the snow onto the road surface, it is more difficult to remove. And so the city will begin plowing when the snow sticks. The city will coordinate with internal resources and local media to distribute this information. The emergency snow routes will be broadcast on Channel 2 and social media as appropriate. And a complete copy of the snow and ice control operation plan will be available on the city's website. And so be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Social media means YouTube.
YouTube,
That means
Facebook,
Facebook, means
Yeah.
Melissa.
Twitter, Snapchat.
Yeah.
Instagram, yeah. She's on Instagram.
Any
Because some of
questions,
us don't
comments?
have Channel 2.
No, I don't, yeah, I don't have Channel 2 either. No questions.
There's no
No.
questions?
Hope for a
Thank
good
you.
winter.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
After this, it was thorough and complete.
Never know until it happens.
Appreciate it. Last item on the agenda, consent agenda. Commissioner Leonard.
I move to approve claims for October 7th, 2023 through October 20th, 2023 in the amount of $873,669.27. Net amount for payroll number 21 effective October 20th, 2023 in the amount of $389,455.95. Police and fire pension in the amount of $7,134.65.
Second.
Motion has been seconded. Begin voting with Commissioner Martin.
Aye.
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 Motion carried 5-0. Before we adjourn the meeting, want to go around the table, starting with our city manager.
Could I ask the police chief to go first tonight?
Mr. Mayor, Commission, we will honor Police Officer Matthew Weiss on Friday, October 27th at Light's Funeral Home from 4 to 6 with a visitation, and at 6 o'clock there'll be a service to follow with his family, and wanted to remind you of that and the members of the public who might be interested to come out and pay their respects. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Chief.
Do have a couple items for you tonight. No particular order. Basketball registration does end November 1st. So we have good turnout so far, so for youth basketball. There's a couple events coming up. I'm sure they'll mention it, but Commissioners Hengula and Bowder and I, along with our Assistant City Manager, Police Chief, attended the Zephyr ribbon cutting today. That was a really good example of LCDC, the county, the city, everybody working together, the state of Kansas, and keeping a local business here, a local business that's invested a couple $1 million in this project, and then a couple million more in just equipment. They employ 125 inmates, paying them minimum wage or more or higher, and as well as a number of local residents. So that was an exciting project today. Monday marks the groundbreaking for USP Leavenworth, the new USP Leavenworth. I've mentioned this a couple times at a couple different meetings, but this wouldn't have happened without the community. There's been federal funding for a prison sitting for other communities, and the community doesn't want it. Our community's embraced it from the beginning. The relationship that we've had with the Bureau of Prisons for about as long as the city's been around. This is countless past commissioners, current commissioners, past city managers, current city managers, city staff, retired corrections workers, and our federal delegation making this happen. So Monday, that's something super exciting. And then finally, Monday at 9 o'clock, the Chamber is hosting sort of a sales tax information meeting. So it's 9 a.m. at the Heritage Center. There'll be two representatives from the Department of Revenue talking about sales tax at the state level. One elected official, the State Senator Karen Tyson, talking about what's a preview for taxes in the next legislative session, and then I will be doing the local sales tax portion of that. They asked me to present on that. So that'll be Saturday, 9 o'clock at the Heritage Center.
Will that be recorded?
The Chamber records everything, I
Good.
believe, so yeah.
I won't be able to go, but I'd like to see it.
Commissioner Leonard.
No, I didn't have anything. Just have a great rest of the week.
Commissioner Hengler.
No, I think we've all been kept pretty busy during the fall, and so it's been kind of hectic. So, but y'all be careful out there.
Yep. Commissioner Martin.
And thanks, Mr. Mayor. I definitely just want to send a thank you to all the city staff that worked hard on putting together the 2023 Business Symposium.
Oh, yes.
I've heard it went really well, and looked like everybody's very eager and excited and happy, and hopefully it can continue to grow from there. So thank you guys for all you did.
I'll tag on to that. I saw, several businesses there that hadn't really talked to each other before, and having them right here in town and having that little bit of time where they could spend with each other, I think was really interesting. I think businesses can learn a lot from each other. The only other thing I have to say is that we have 2 weeks until our election, and I would encourage, if you would like to, get out and vote early. We have early voting at the courthouse from 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. So just get out and vote, please. Thank you.
I'd like to triple tag and add on to the business symposium. Thank you for everyone that attended and participated. It was definitely a huge success, and yesterday was a great example of two businesses, I want to say, that's maybe less than a year old, invested off into the community. It is thriving in the community, communicated and worked well with the city of Leavenworth. And I just want to say, anybody that is interested in starting a business in Leavenworth, please come here. We are open, we are welcome, and we are willing to provide you the resources and the support that you need. Thank you for your support, and God bless you, and get out and vote. Meeting adjourned. Motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Meeting adjourned.